Hello, everyone. You are welcome to the second day of the International Workshop on Metaverse and Industry. We thank you all for making it to this second day of the event. I want to take this opportunity to introduce the director of the center and the chief host of this event, Professor Dong-Sung Kim. Professor Dong-Sung Kim has his PhD degree in electrical electronics engineering from Seoul National University in South Korea. He was also a postdoctoral researcher at the Wireless Network Laboratory, School of Electrical and Computer Engineering in Cornell University in the United States. Later, he was a visiting professor at the University of California. He's the director of Kumoh National Institute of Technology Convergence Research Institute, as well as ICT Convergence Research Center. He is going to take us on the next presentation. We welcome Professor Dong-Sung Kim. Professor, you're welcome.
Share the screen. This one. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Can you hear my voice? Okay, it's my honor and pleasure to discuss regarding the recent trend of the Metaverse and NFT with one of the platform at our laboratory called Creativia. My name is Dong-Sung Kim, and I'm charged on the managing the center, national center and laboratory together. As you know, there is many kind of changes happen at communication and computation, AI. In fact, I majoring some AI almost 25 years ago. So at that time, I studied regarding some neural network for some kind of the forgetting algorithm at neural network. At that time, the memory limitation is a big problem. So I will try to consider how can forget accumulated data, but it's many things changes. So nowadays, the deep learning and big data are combined. So many kinds of the applications appear. So one of them, today we talk about some kind of the Metaverse and NFT. You know, a couple of years ago, we talked about Internet of Things regarding connect things, mobile things. But nowadays, we have to consider Internet of Intelligence. Last week, I attended one of the famous conference called ICC. Almost scholars talk about some kind of edge AI, you know, some kind of the edge device with AI interact together. So learning approach is some kind of seems like changed as not unsupervised, supervised, reinforcement. Nowadays, we call it federated learning is some widespread in the case of the edge AI. In the case of the communication and computing, there is a big changes. You know, did you hear about the semantic communication? So maybe computing technique will be combined with communication. So in view of the receiver side, there is many kind of the theoretical approaches to combine communication and computing infrastructure at the same time. So some scholar called it as some kind of connect intelligence. Some scholar called it mobile intelligence. Today, we will call it as some Internet of Intelligence. So many scholars, as like all of us, it's time to have to consider of some edge AI. At our laboratory is in the case of Metaverse, we usually focus on the mirroring worlds and live logging. You know, some kind of normally in academic area, we can divide Metaverse application as AR, augmented reality, and virtual reality with some Google Glass, something like that. And also mirroring real world as like digital twin or some kind of the holography. Live logging technology is kind of combined with human being behavior or some monitoring system. So usually we call it as some kind of this category, metaverse. At our company and laboratory, we usually focus on 3 categories. Last year, we developed some platform based on AR, VR. Nowadays, we usually focus on some mirroring world for smart factory and military section. And additional case live logging, we also consider some kind of the disaster monitoring or something like that. In view of the applications that we can consider some smart factory to prevent accident between worker and automated system, and also monitoring some kind of the duration or some maintenance of the motor or some machine. And military section, we have many customers at military area. So in the case of is kind of one of the missile system, they want to sell this kind of their customer. We try to make some manual or some kind of some maintenance process using some metaverse technology. The other area of exhibition, nowadays, many companies focus on some exhibition using the metaverse, also some auction, also some kind of tax exemption store at the airport. They try to consider how can exhibit their item in effective way. So in the case of metaverse, usually every scholar, every engineer is a metaverse with NFT considered at the same time. The reason lies on theirs. NFT, the code name is ERC721. That is to say, it's Ethereum smart contract. You know, NFT usually widely applied to some game and SNS game contents. Okay, in the case of the Roblox, they use NFT for some kind of their the game contents. But NFTs is some sort of some certificate of your property at cyberspace. It's kind of your copyright, your property, your ownership. It might be represented by NFT. So if we build up the cyberspace, such as Creativia platform or some kind of Roblox platform, it's a kind of always with NFT together, because we need some kind of ownership or some kind of copyright problem. So here's a final slide. It's a kind of, you might be, one of you guys already saw it, but it's kind of the example of the Metaverse platform for exhibition by the Creativia. Actually, this video clip, as an example, we tried modeling one of our exhibition hall at our building. Also try to provide some kind of the contents to our customer. In the case of military one, we try to make some manual, so some kind of maintenance procedure using the manual with Metaverse model. I hope you enjoyed this workshop, and I also talk with more constructive things with you guys for our future work. Again, thank you for having me, and I hope you enjoy the remainder of the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. We are immensely grateful. Stop sharing. For today, we are done with the professor. Today, we are going to have some presentations by Dr. Cosmas, myself, on global trends and metaverse research. Also, we are going to listen to Mr. Gabriel again on security today. We are also going to listen to Judith. She's going to discuss metaverse and case studies in intelligent transport system. We are also going to listen to Mr. Simeon. Mr. Simeon is a PhD scholar at the laboratory here. He's going to be talking about AI and metaverse. We hope you will get a lot of knowledge from his presentation. Once again, we are grateful to our collaborators, Babcock University, University of Ilorin, and Benson Idahosa University, all in Nigeria. We thank you for your support, and we hope that going forward, we shall all be mutually beneficial to this project. In order to guide us, this event, as at 2 hours ago, total number of persons who have registered for this workshop are 485 persons, with Babcock University having 105, Benson Idahosa University having 86, University of Ilorin, Kwara State is having 40. Our university, of course, our university is a small university. We have 30 persons. Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Nigeria is having 8. Federal University of Technology, Akure is having 2. We have Kyongbuk University here in South Korea. We also have representative from the Scotty Bank in Canada, as well as Harvard University in the US, and the Yanchei Tech University in Ecuador, with 2 persons from Nigerian Communications Commission, Federal Polytechnic Offer in Nigeria. We are grateful to all these institutions. If we didn't see your name, we couldn't categorize you. So we have everybody grouped into the bank, company, startup, and industries. This classification had 187 persons. Indeed, we are grateful, and we don't take your attendance for granted. We do hope that at the end of today, we would have been able to meet your requirements and meet your needs for coming. I also want to assure all those that have outstanding questions. I also want to assure all those that have outstanding questions that rather than answering the questions yesterday, about 4 questions that were not answered yesterday, what we did today is to push your questions to the various presentations today. So in the course of each person presentation, you will discover that your questions are being answered. Also, intentionally, my presentation is supposed to be the last before the security. The reason is that as anybody presents and still fail to answer your questions, I hope to provide the answer during my presentation. This is the best way we can manage the time. This is the best way we can make sure that this event ends at exactly 2 hours as planned. I have the pleasure to invite Mr. Simeon, a PhD scholar, Network System Laboratory, to teach us on metaverse and artificial intelligence. Mr. Simeon, you're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to this section. We are sincerely sorry for the little break in transmission. My name is Mr. Simeon Ajakwe. Tonight, my presentation is on artificial intelligence and metaverse, which throughout this presentation, I'll be using the acronym AIM, that is AIM. In this presentation, in a nutshell, we'll look at the objectives of artificial intelligence in promoting the acceleration of metaverse. Then we'll look at the overview of artificial intelligence in metaverse so that we understand the relationship. We understand the relationship that metaverse and AI share in common. Then we'll go ahead and look at the artificial intelligence techniques and the models that are deployed in metaverse, the opportunities that lies ahead so that you can create a niche for yourself and participate rather than being a spectator on the sideline. And we'll conclude. In a nutshell, the summary of this presentation can be captured in 3 ways. One is just to demystify so that AI, peradventure you are new to it, or you are new to the term metaverse, you can understand the pillars of this innovation. Then having demystified, we will discover the things we need to know so that we can now know how to participate, and having discovered, you can now deploy. You deploy based on the discovery you have gotten, and then participate meaningfully. So quickly, let's look at the overview. Now, just like our speaker said yesterday, in a nutshell, metaverse is the coming together of 2 words, meta and universe. And when we talk about meta, we are talking about the transition of data, the dynamic transformation of data, so that at every point in time, you can use it to take decision. And universe, in this regard, we are talking about a synthetic environment where the things that happen in the physical are transmitted into the virtual, and then you can get a wholesome and holistic derivation of pleasure from the data. Between 2020 and 2024, it is estimated that the world of augmented reality and virtual reality has contributed significantly and financially in different dimensions, in games and in software development, as you can see on the screen. And it is estimated that by year 2024, about $40 billion. Now, let's look at the trend of how metaverse has moved. Between 1991 to 1998, that was the first transformation of metaverse with the origin of the internet. And then between year 2002 and 2009, that was the second phase of transformation of metaverse. Then between 2009 and 2014, that was the third transformation. And then between 2014 to 2018, that was the fourth transformation. And then finally, we have the fifth transformation, which is between 2019 to 2021, especially when Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, decided to announce Metaverse by changing the company to Meta. When we talk about artificial intelligence, in a nutshell, just simply put it, we're talking about system or machine intelligence. That it is the art of creating machines, processes, and systems that can extract facts from dynamic information and then use it to take different decisions. The decision you take now in the next 1 second or millisecond can change based on the dynamic transformation of that data. That's what AI is just simply all about. It's not just machine processes and procedures too. Now, when we talk about the world of AI, if you want to understand the concept of AI, then you need to understand also about what AI does. And it's all about machine learning. And there are categories of machine learning that we deploy in AI. We have what is known as the supervised learning, the unsupervised learning, the semi-supervised learning, and the reinforcement learning. Now, this category of machine learning or deep learning is based on the data that you are making use of and the type of task is meant to perform. And it is on this basis of classification, we have different AI model. Now, we need to establish that AI is not about making things difficult. It's not about replacing human being. It's not about creating a society that is precarious. And it's not even about making people lazy. It is simply what AI is trying to achieve is problem solving that is easy, that is fast, that is efficient and effective. So if we see from this point of view that AI is simply to make problem solving very easy so that we can deploy our intuitive mind to things that add value, so that we don't engage ourselves in other things that the machine can take care of, especially when the environment is so complex and the environment is so difficult, the terrain cannot easily be accessed by a human. So if we understand this, then it gives us a clearer picture of how to participate in the world of AI and Metaverse. Now, having established this, how do we bring the whole concept together? AI, Metaverse, and then, of course, 5G and 6G technology, because all these things will work in an environment that has the 5G and 6G communication, because data needs to travel very fast, and we need to extract a lot of facts from the dynamic volume of information that is so volatile in the way it changes. So how do we achieve all this together? That is just the summary of what this presentation is bringing across to us. And that is, we look at the relationship between AI and Metaverse. Now, there are 7 layers of AI in Metaverse. And this is divided into experience, discovery, creator economy, spatial computing, decentralization, human interface, and infrastructure, as you can see on the display. On all these 7 layers, AI does a lot of, because the AI platform is the engine behind the Metaverse. The physical structure of a system or an individual is not the sophistication. It is the intelligence behind the physical structure that is the sophistication of such company or product. And that is what AI does in games, in advertising, in design tools, e-commerce. You talk about 3D design, you talk about edge computing, blockchain, microservices, platform, everything connects together, just like the last speaker said. Everything connects together, mobile, wearables, smartwatch, all these need to come together. The issue of data centers, cloud computing, intelligent computing, semantic computing, AI is the brain behind all this technology. Now, not only that, let's look at the roles of AI in Metaverse as we look at the different aspects of Metaverse. First, let's look at what is known as the natural language processing. Well, when we talk about natural language processing, we're talking about machine trying to understand human communication, human modes. When we talk, it's not just what you say, the emotion behind it. AI does language modeling, word prediction, text-to-speech processing, semantic labeling. This is what AI tries to do in trying to, bring the human, the physical, or the cognitive into the virtual. Now, we look at the second aspect of Metaverse, where AI comes in, and that is in machine vision. When we talk about machine vision, we are talking about object detection, object classification, semantic analysis, image restoration, enhancement of image, post-estimation, action recognition. Just like you had our last speaker, when there is something, a breakdown in the manufacturing process or the staff involved, with AI, we can know when a staff has an issue, and that can easily be, taken care of. Not only that, with AI, we can, there's what is known as a ultra reliable, low latency communication. And that is what 5G and CG communication is trying to do. And with AI, there are so many algorithms that can take care of this. Of course, intelligent spectrum, utilization also. Now with AI, digital twin cannot be possible without AI, because we need to do, just like our speaker yesterday, data-driven modeling. It's not just a one-way linear process. As data changes, decisions need to move in that order. Irrational behavior needs irrational, decision. With AI, that can only be possible. Now, not only that, for what is known as brain-computer interface, trying to bring in the cognitive aspect and neurological aspect into the way machine does things, just the same way human can remember past and then based on that make future prediction. In metaverse, we want whereby people can remember emotion and then feel their past in the present, especially the past that gives them joy. It's only with AI that this can be established. Let's look at opportunities of AI in metaverse so that we can create a niche for ourselves. There are so many opportunities of AI, that is artificial intelligence, whether it's on the line of machine learning or on the line of deep learning. Let's look at the opportunities of AI in metaverse. In the manufacturing sector, with deep neural networks, such as a recurrent neural network, what we know as the LSTM, the deep belief networks, AI, all these are AI algorithms that can be used, to increase manufacturing scalability, visual entities, for operation transparency, to be able to monitor the condition of machines, just like our last speaker told us, with fault detection and accuracy of designs. With AI, these things can be achieved. Now, not only that, in the world of job fairs, with AI, we can create virtual, platform for teleworking, teleconferences, just like what is going on now. Job fairs, people can attend interview online and have the feeling face-to-face encounter with the panels, on the metaverse. And with that, you don't need to travel far distance, and the risk involved during interview conferences and what have you. Not only that, with AI also, smart communities can be created. People can work in a smart environment. You are not scared of, a security risk. Intelligent transport system, just like our speaker yesterday talked about, video-based surveillance is made possible, and collaborative home sensing. You can feel, you can move into the metaverse, and the movie you are watching, you can interact end to end with the cast of the movie and feel the same thing that you would have wanted to feel if you were in the movie scene, in the movie line. Now, also with AI, especially with deep neural network, we can also the issue of NFT, like you had our last speaker, that's what is known as the non-fungible, token. With AI, you can create digital assets, digital CFOs, and all the other things, and you can sell your market on the metaverse. For instance, one of the most important TV presenter known as Snoopy Dogg, bought into AI what of 80 million US dollar investment of a podium where music and concert fairs can take place. So you don't need to travel down to Las Vegas to watch such fairs. You can sit at the comfort of your house, interact with other people who are attending the event online, feel the same music, feel the same event, feel everything together. All this can only be made possible with what is known as reinforcement learning. And the reinforcement learning is an advanced aspect of AI we call the artificial super intelligence, because AI has three domains: artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence. And that is where AI comes in Metaverse. Not only that, AI plays all other role in what is known as gaming, which is the one that brought Metaverse to the limelight. With recurrent neural network, convolutional neural network, and generative adversarial network, the GANs, you can not just play the game, be part of the game, be part of the characters in the game, feel all the emotions of the game. You can imagine a world whereby you are on the same pitch playing with Kylian Mbappe, playing with Lionel Messi, playing with all other superstars, no matter the sport, whether it's soccer or basketball, or you are playing with Tiger Woods, what have you. This can only be made possible with AI, and the algorithms are everywhere. Now, we also look at the future of AI in Metaverse. The future of AI in Metaverse, which is very, very important, that is ongoing now, is the issue of you having your own personal avatar, whereby you can, feel emotion, know when someone is telling you the truth, or when someone is telling you a lie. You can imagine your avatar can feel what you should have felt when you are physically present in an environment. This is only made possible through AI, and we have already AI models that does this. Now, the future. What is the roadmap? The roadmap of AI in Metaverse. The roadmap of AI in Metaverse. Well, when we talk about the future of AI in Metaverse, I need to let us understand that the future of AI in Metaverse is understanding the alignment of AI algorithms and the Metaverse platform in healthcare, in manufacturing, in smart cities, and what have you. If you understand that with AI and robotics, where we have reinforcement learning, where we have a semi-supervised learning, where we have unsupervised learning, then you now understand that the future is in your hands. But the major issue in AI and Metaverse is three areas. Number one, what we call AI trustworthiness. Why this is very, very important is to avoid taking wrong decisions on the Metaverse. Decision that is very, very costly. Then AI ethics, so as to avoid unscrupulous fellow, having access to the Metaverse and thereby disrupting the integrity of the system. And then finally, AI security, tighten the security such that the Metaverse is not polluted with security issues, just like we have in the physical world. These are three cardinal areas, three cardinal open issues, even research issues on how AI can further enhance the feasibility, the scalability, and the sustainability of Metaverse. In conclusion, you can refer to the online resource that is on the display so that you can get acquainted with more information on how artificial intelligence can further improve the sustainability and security of Metaverse. On this note, I want to thank every one of you for the rapt attention, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simeon. One of the questions here is, one of the audience want to understand where language, natural language processing and machine learning come into play in this Metaverse project.
Okay, thank you. the person that asked the question, the role of natural language processing in AI and Metaverse. Now, like I said, natural language processing has to do with understanding what is known as text-to-speech, analysis. Not only that, we have what is known as a physical activity recognition. How does it come to play in Metaverse? Like I said, understanding emotions, understanding the communication, the intention behind an action. AI can help us to detect that. When someone is moody, when there's an emotional swing, it's only with natural language processing that we can be able to extract the information from the available data and then make use of it on the Metaverse. Let me just cite an example. A situation whereby you are interacting with an individual and the person is telling you a lie. On the surface, the person is saying is the truth. With what is known as neurocognitive analysis and emotion sentiment analysis, we can be able to detect that this is actually a lie and not the truth. So that is where AI comes in natural language processing, apart from other surface.
Another person wants to know where is the meeting point between AI and blockchain technology and security. Somebody wants to know the meeting point between AI, blockchain and security.
Okay, thank you for the question. The meeting point between AI, blockchain, and security. Now, the summary of blockchain is this. Blockchain is simply a platform where you interact, especially a financial platform, where the trustworthiness of the interaction is not on the participants, but on the system itself. On a normal transaction on the physical, if you don't trust the person you are interacting with, you cannot transact with the person. But in blockchain, we say, no, you don't even need to know the individual you're interacting with. You don't even need to know whether the person is trustworthy. If the system is trustworthy, then you can transact because the security is on the system. So where does AI come in here? AI ensures that the features of the data is analyzed. And then because knowledge discovery has been made from that data, based on that, we can say that this interaction or this transaction is okay. And then every participant on the network is not afraid of being duped. So the place of AI is making sure that every transaction on the blockchain network is secured. And that is why, even up till now, there are concerns. The major concerns on blockchain is insecurity. So where does AI come in? For anyone who wants to create a niche for himself, is to develop models that can improve the security of blockchain, which is what also the NFT is trying to achieve. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simeon, for questions that are not answered. Like I did say at the beginning, questions that are not answered, we are taking due note of them. And some questions are intentionally not answered. If you check the mail we sent to you, we sent you a mail containing the program of the event. So I was thinking that if you have a question and a subsequent program of the event is likely to be an answer, maybe you just exercise a little bit of patience. For example, somebody asked a question on security. If you check the program, security is one of the lectures for today. So there is no need bugging him with the questions on security. We'll just wait for the person that will speak on security. Perhaps we will hear from the person. And for various persons asking about what their institutions can do with respect to this project and collaboration, I think that is not what I can discuss over the air on the workshop. Each university have their MOU, and I expect that every participant of the MOU, we interact at the university level. For now, we are focusing on enlightenment. We are focusing on public education on what Metaverse is all about. So if there are specific issues with respect to each institutions on how they can key into the project, that should be an administrative issue. We'll get to that. So we take some interlude before we have the next speaker. Welcome back, everyone. We are going to listen to the next speaker. The next speaker is going to explain Metaverse and intelligent transportation system. Like we did yesterday. If you were around yesterday we talked about intro to Metaverse, and then we brought in Mr. Gabriel, who looked at the Metaverse application to manufacturing. Then we also listened to Metaverse and the role of blockchain technology. Today, we have listened to the professor, we've listened to the AI and Metaverse. Now we want to listen to one of the case study issues. So Judith is going to take us through Metaverse at applicability to intelligent transport systems. So Judith, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me share my slides. Hello, everyone. My name is Judith Nkechinyere Njoko, and I'm a researcher here at the ICT Convergence Research Center. And the focus of my talk today will be about how you can apply Metaverse in transportation systems to make them more intelligent. My hope is that at the end of this discussion, we would have gained insight into how the transport system. Well, just a minute, let me increase my volume. I think there's an issue with my volume. Okay. Is it fine now? Is it okay? Okay. So I hope that by the end of this discussion, you'll have gained insight into how ITS, let's say ITS for short, how it works. You understand what technology drives autonomous vehicles, and also gain insight into how Metaverse can influence autonomous vehicles. So first things first, what is ITS? What is intelligent transport systems? This simply refers to the use of information and computer technology to make transportation system smarter. So it could be vehicles, aircrafts, trains, subways, whatever. As long as there's a means by which you can make it smarter, it becomes ITS. And the goal is just to provide reliable transport system, more comfortable transport system, and a more simplified operation and decision-making process. To understand ITS better, we need to look at the connections in ITS. And there are 4 major connections. The first is the vehicle-to-pedestrian connection, the vehicle-to-network connection, the vehicle-to-vehicle connection, and then the vehicle-to-infrastructure connection. In the vehicle-to-pedestrian connection, this encompasses people walking on the road, children being pushed in strollers, people using wheelchairs, and cyclists, amongst others. With this connection, vehicles can recognize pedestrians who are within a line of sight and prevent collision, like you can see in the figure over here. Next, we have the vehicle-to-network connection. Basically, this means that vehicles can connect to cellular networks and exchange information with other vehicles and other objects around them. So this gives the vehicle the power of connectivity, which we'll be looking at later on in this discussion. Then we have the vehicle-to-vehicle connection. In this network, vehicles can communicate with other vehicles about their speed, their location, their status, and of course, alert them about when they are within a very, very risky distance from the other vehicle to prevent crashes with the other vehicle. Last but not least, we have vehicle-to-infrastructure connection. Now, when we talk about infrastructure, we're referring to buildings, roadside units, traffic lights, things like that. In the case of infrastructures, they have a lot of data. For instance, traffic lights, smart traffic lights, they have a lot of data about the traffic in the environment, and this is forwarded to the traffic management units. Now, cars can have access to this information and understand where to park, which parking spaces are available at any time, and also be warned about when they're about to jump the red lights or when the pedestrians are also crossing the road, so they can know when to stop, especially for autonomous vehicles. Okay, so let's look at some technologies that empower ITS. There are 4 main technologies: connectivity, Internet of Things, AI, and edge computing. Connectivity, in this case, because of the need for ITS to deal with massive amount of data and transmit a lot of data and also process data in real time and give results in real time, is important that we have a very ultra reliable and ultra low latency connectivity like 6G. So this is really critical to the success of ITS. Next, we have the Internet of Things. This is a kind of umbrella that covers objects that are linked or connected with internet. Objects here refers to vehicles, humans, infrastructures, buildings, and the rest of them. This is one of the bedrock of ITS. Next, we have artificial intelligence. Of course, with ITS, you have a lot of data being generated. Lots of data being on an hourly basis, you have a lot of data per minute, a lot of data being generated. And this is used to give the vehicle power of processing and decision making. So this is very concrete to the source of ITS. Then we also have edge computing. Unlike in the case of where you have data being processed at the cloud and maybe the results being sent to the vehicle, it's better to have it processed at the edge so that to enable real-time response to incidents, you can have a very, very quick process of data processing, data reception and data processing, and then feedback to the vehicle. So these 4 elements are the core technologies of ITS. Now let's look at autonomous vehicles and the metaverse. An autonomous vehicle is a self-driving car, otherwise known as self-driving car. It's a kind of car or vehicle which has a level of automation. So it enables the vehicle to operate with minimal human intervention. Yes, and so far there are about 6 levels of autonomous vehicles. In the first level, there is no automation, which means that it's manual control. So the human performs all the tasks of steering, acceleration, braking, and the rest of them. Whereas in the second level, you have driver assistance, in which it monitors the speech through cruise control. So in this case, the human still does the entire driving of the vehicle. Then in the second level, you have partial automation. Here, the vehicle can do some tasks like steering and acceleration, but the human still monitors all the other tasks and can take control all the time. Now, the first 3 levels, the human monitors the driving environment. Now, let's look at the next 3 levels. In level 2, we have conditional automation. Here, the vehicle can detect things in the environment. However, the host still performs most driving tasks. In level 4, which is high automation, now the vehicle performs all driving tasks under specific circumstances. However, the human is still there to override when the need arises. Then we have the final level, level 5. This is a fully autonomous vehicle. Now, in this case, the vehicle can operate on its own without human intervention, and it has no need for human interaction. But this is not fully in place nowadays because it's a very risky situation. You can't have a vehicle driving on the road. When it comes to situations where he has to make a decision, for instance, if a human driver jumps the red lights, it doesn't know what to do because the vehicle is thinking. It's not trained to jump red lights. So it's a little risky to put it on the road right now. So it's not really fully in play. So today we'll be discussing based on cars that are level 4 automation, high automation. Okay, so let's look at the features of autonomous vehicles. First of all, autonomous vehicles have certain features which make them what we call autonomous. So first of all, we have the adaptive cruise control, and this means that this enables the vehicle to keep a certain distance between it and the one preceding it, and it can slow down and pace up in line with the other vehicle to prevent collision, of course. Then next, we have the autonomous emergency braking system, which is usually useful during traffic incidents and enables the vehicles to brake when it is very necessary. I mean, they are at a very, very close range with the vehicle preceding it. And we have the lane keeping assistance. This is a technology that enables vehicles to drive within the prescribed lane on the road. Most times the vehicles have a kind of guidance in the vehicle, which steers the front wheels of the car in line with the lanes. And then we have blind spot detection. This provides a kind of 360-degree coverage of the entire vehicle, allowing it to detect when vehicles are within their blind spots to avoid collision with vehicles overtaking. Then we have the reverse park assists, and this technology gives vehicles audio and video assistance in parking to prevent reverse accidents. Last but not least, we have object detection and recognition. So in this case, vehicles have the ability to detect vehicles within their line of view and also objects like pedestrians, traffic signs, and other infrastructures. Okay, so next we look at the metaverse itself. We've heard so many speakers talk about the metaverse, and you can see how exciting autonomous vehicles are already without the metaverse. You wonder what next, what can the metaverse offer? Let's look at what exactly metaverse entails for a start. Now we have virtual reality. Like we already know, this is just going to be a brush up on what this means. This is a technology that allows users to control objects virtually or remotely using a VR remote control. While augmented reality enables users to see the real world overlaid with a kind of digital elements. So in ITS, this is very, very well explored for transportation systems. Next, we'll look at mixed reality. And this is a kind of fusion of AR and VR and allows for you to interact with virtual objects in the real life environments. Then the last but not least, we have extended reality, which encompasses all of these technologies into one. So you can actually control virtual objects from a distance and control real life objects from a distance. It's a fusion of both the real and the virtual world into one. Then we have the digital twin. Digital twin represents the digital form of real world objects. So processes, scenarios, or systems can be made into a digital twin. This works in a synchronized fashion with the real world object. And it means that you can actually have changes made to the real one and then fused to the virtual one and vice versa. So when changes occur in the virtual world, you can make your changes there and also come and reflect it back in the real copy of the scenario or the objects. Then we also have avatar. So like we are used to being avatars in computer games and the rest of them. But in the metaverse, avatars are human figures that represent human figures. So it means that the way you can control avatars in computer games, in the metaverse, once you make a gesture as a human, your avatar also makes the same gesture. So it's synchronized with the avatars in the metaverse. Then we have the metaverse itself, which of course, like we know, is a virtual world, which allows for interactions with different kinds of persons from different parts of the world. As you can see in this video, we have two persons playing a game, an avatar and a real human. Now the avatar, of course, is somebody else who is accessing this particular location remotely using VR. So we have virtual reality in place here. Then we have also augmented reality. You can see that the ball that is being passed back and forth is a virtual object, but it's in place in a real world environment. And the person that is playing the game on the other end is also a real human playing against an avatar. So this shows you how all of this is incorporated into the metaverse to make it a reality. We also, of course, can see the avatars and all of this. These are all features of metaverse. The game board is a replica of a real life object, which is a digital twin. And it's already been shared by both a virtual human and a real life human. Okay, so people might ask, why do we need this union? Why do you need metaverse? We already have a very wonderful vehicular system that is autonomous, that serves so many functions. Why do we need this union? Why do we need to have metaverse in vehicles? Okay, let's back up a little bit. Let's think about how much attention we have so far from metaverse in the social world, financially, and like we saw yesterday, we saw about the manufacturing industry. Now, there's a question that we need to ask ourselves. If we are heading for the future in which we can be anywhere virtually, we don't need to be anywhere physically, why and how do we move around the world? How do we move around? This is where transportation comes into play. With that question in mind, there are two big feature characteristics of human mobility in a world in which metaverse is in control. First of all travel is leisure travel and commuting is a cake. Now, this might sound controversial. How can all travel be leisure travel? How can commuting be a cake? I'll explain that a bit. Since the COVID pandemic, so many businesses embrace remote work, remote meetings, and remote activities and the likes. And surprisingly, they all thrived. We didn't hear of businesses folding up. They somehow managed to go on with the COVID pandemic. How was this possible? This means that things like business travels became unnecessary. People could resort to Zoom and the likes to have business meetings. Can you imagine it took a pandemic for the world to realize that traveling for 14 hours from wherever in the world to Seattle or Shanghai just to have eye contacts and exchange handshakes was not necessary. It was a waste of resources. So just imagine that at this point, it becomes very unnecessary to travel for businesses. It means that in the future, with our future aircraft and future means of transport, people will only travel for leisure. And what do people who go on for travel and leisure do? They go to connect with people and to have fun. Now, in order for you to have transport systems that can enable people to connect with each other and also have fun, we need to have a complete overhaul of the entire travel system. This is where the metaverse comes into play. Metaverse will help to transform airports, aircraft, train terminals, trains, and other transit systems. Now, let's look at how this is possible. To understand this, we look at some case studies of what has already been done by two companies, the Nissan Global and then Weary. The Nissan Global introduced what is called the invisible to visible technology, while the Weary introduced Metaverse on wheels. Now, these are two concept cars. Nissan Global's own isn't really a product yet, a full functional car. However, Weary Technology has introduced a fully functional, should I say partially functional vehicle, but the concept is still based on Metaverse. Now let's look at the first one, the invisible to visible technology. This technology by Nissan Global is based on a 3D augmented reality interface that merges the real and the virtual world to make information that is invisible visible. That's the basic idea, to make the invisible information become visible. Now, it's based on a technology that is only patented to Nissan, based on Omniscient Cloud. Now, this is a virtual hub that gathers data in real time from traffic environments and the vehicle's exterior and exterior. The vehicle's exterior could refer to the cars around it, the buildings around it, and all of that. While the interior could refer to the countenance of the driver or its passengers of the vehicle. So this is the kind of data that this gathers. I mentioned before about digital twin. Digital twin becomes possible through sensors around the vehicle, which generates data about the environment and also replicates it in the digital environment. Next, we have the seamless autonomous mobility technology, which helps to analyze the road environment through relevant real-time information. So this helps vehicles to make decisions, which we'll be looking at later on in this discussion. Then we have the Pro Pilot. Now, this helps vehicles with sensors to gather data. This enables the Omniscient Cloud to have what data it needs to process for the vehicles to make decisions. Then we have the digital twin, which I have mentioned earlier as the digital replica of the physical world, made possible through data gathered in Omniscient technology. Now we'll look at a short demo of this. Okay, so I'll just turn down the audio. So I just want you to see how this vehicle works. This is just a short demo. You can see that this vehicle allows you to interact with the environment. You can see when you want to park. You can see the windshield of the vehicle has some kind of writing on it. That is made possible through augmented reality. Okay, so you can see the weather can change. Through the vehicle, you can change the weather from foggy to bright weather. I'll also explain that later. Okay, you can have an avatar also join you during the ride on the vehicle. So I want to observe the windshield, the dashboard rather of the vehicle, and you can see just, okay, so let me talk about what's, can you hear me? let's talk about what this technology or this concept car is trying to offer. First of all, it says that it's offering visualizing invisible information for a more comfortable and exciting drive. That was a very short demonstration, but I want to explain more because I don't have much time. So first of all, there are different scenarios we want to paint using that vehicle. The typical driving scenario. In this scenario, the system will display information about the road environment, such as potential hidden obstacles or pedestrians, or on the dashboard of the vehicle. Then, in a traffic congestion scenario, the system will display upcoming traffic situations, including those that you can't even see them, and then the causes of them, and so the driver can make a detour and decide on what other route to take. Then, in a typical parking scenario, the system displays where and when the next parking space will become available, like we saw in that short clip earlier on. In a mountain driving scenario, the system will project an image of oncoming vehicles or an obstruction, so that the autonomous vehicle knows what other paths to take or when to stop. So this allows for it to make certain decisions. Then, in an autonomous driving scenario, system can project a scene of clear skies on the vehicle windows, especially when the weather is in poor condition. So those who are on the ride can get to experience a better driving experience instead of having to suffer through maybe a fog or something. So next, look at the second offering of this technology, visualizing human-to-human virtual communication for a new connected car experience. Now, there are different scenarios here. First of all, we have a companion scenario. Now, this means that a friend from anywhere in the world can join you as an avatar on that trip via the metaverse. So you want to drive and you feel like I'm in Korea right now, my mom can join me from Nigeria on a ride in the metaverse. And that will make me feel less lonely, or make me feel that I have that feeling of interaction while driving. This points back to what I talk about leisure traveling. Next, we have tourism scenario. Now you're going to destination, you need a local guide to inform you about that area. Someone can join you from metaverse as an avatar to answer questions and give you recommendations on places to visit in real time. Then we have the service scenario. You want to learn how to drive. You need someone to teach you. You can have a pro join you through the metaverse as an avatar and assist you in real time. Then, okay, look at the second case study, which is Metaverse on Wheels by Were. So this is a technology based on something called holographic deep reality display technology. And they have a fully functional car called the Were Holograptor, and also called the Metaverse on Wheels. I'll be explaining this in a bit. First of all, the technology, basically based on augmented reality, allows for the dashboard of the vehicle to have virtual images appear on it. So for instance, you can see in the image here, you can see some objects that are at certain distance are being displayed on the dashboard. Even the aircraft at the farthest distance is also being displayed on the dashboard. So this allows the vehicle to view information about human beings, about buildings, about vehicles, right on the dashboard. This is going to be a replacement for the traditional dashboard we have, which is just a plain windshield. This is going to be a virtual dashboard fused with the real world, all in one space. And then we have so this is how technology works. I won't be explaining this in detail, but just something to note. This, in this vehicle, we have a device which has several parts. The beauty of it is that you can put this into any autonomous vehicle. It doesn't have to be the Were Holograptor. You can actually take this out and put in a different vehicle for it to function as a metaverse vehicle. And then we also have, okay, let's look at a case study first, then I will explain. Okay, so we can see this vehicle. You can see there's the red line marking as it approaches the vehicle in front of it, which is a kind of alarm that shows that it is already within a very unsafe proximity with the next vehicle. Then you can observe the blue lines, which is a kind of trail to show that it has to turn, show kind of direction for the vehicle. This is all made possible by augmented reality. Then on the dashboard, you can see some kind of letterings about the distance traveled, the speed of the vehicle, also the map. As you're turning, the map is also turning. Now you can see pedestrians crossing. It can detect pedestrians who are crossing, and also you can see a kind of alarm sign that shows that you have to stop. Now, see information about pharmacies, that's the location around. So you can see data about the buildings around, locations, and all of that. Now let's see. Okay, you can observe the blue lines also. As you turn, there's the direction sign which shows that yes, you have to turn right or you're turning right. You also have a notification that shows when you've arrived at a location. Yeah, so you have arrived. You have arrived. Okay, there's something more. You can see lane markings. Like I mentioned earlier, a lane tracking. In this vehicle, you can see that once you go beyond the lane, the line changes from blue to red, which shows that this is a risk and you should remain within your lane. So it helps to guide the vehicle. Once the alarm goes off, it tries to maintain the lane and remain within that the blue line markings. Also, it can monitor vehicles ahead of it, and it turns red once it gets too close to those vehicles. You see, like once it gets too close, it turns red and an alarm is shown, which means you have to slow down on your driving. So this essentially shows you how Metaverse can actually help to make driving much more convenient, much more comfortable, and much more reliable. Now, what does this vehicle offer? It offers what we call AR glazing. Now, AR glazing allows you, or augmented reality glazing allows you to view and visualize different objects from your the vehicle's dashboard. So you can see lane markings of the road, you can see other vehicles. Even by the left, you can see this vehicle colored purple. It's actually a virtual vehicle riding on the main road, not a real vehicle. You can also see information about different buildings around, the traffic light and the rest of them. And then we have the remote control. Now, this is the beauty of the Wear Holograptor. The idea is that anybody from any part of the world can actually control this vehicle and drive you around. So it means that I could be here in South Korea and I need to drive somebody back home in Nigeria. I just access the vehicle wherever it is and drive the person where I need to drive the person to. So this allows for remote control of vehicles. And this has given rise to what we call the ride-hailing service. So you can have Uber for the Metaverse. For the Metaverse, someone can actually request an Uber and you can drive the person around. And this allows also for drivers to work remotely. Isn't that just beautiful? Then we have the air knife. It became popular due to COVID-19 pandemic, and it allows you to have shared rides with other persons in the vehicle and give a kind of layer of protection to prevent for transmission of infections of airborne diseases. Okay, so this is a very wonderful technology, Metaverse for transportation systems. There are also some issues that, should I say, need to be also looked into while innovation goes on. For instance, network and connectivity issues. What happens if I'm driving somebody from Korea in Nigeria and they suddenly will lose connection with internet? What happens? What happens to the guy over there? Have crashes, accidents? So these are things that need to be put into consideration in where this is deployed and how it is deployed. We also have security issues, which I won't be going into now due to time, because our speaker will soon discuss about these security issues. Thank you very much. I hope I have been able to inform you about this particular topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. I also was hoping to see questions, but it seems Judith is so fantastic, according to Mr. William. He said, this is fantastic. And that is a good news for me. It means I have a lot of time to move as quick as possible. So, Judith, everybody is telling you, thank you for being fantastic. So there's no question for Judith. So if there is no question for Judith, we go on a break because we need to avoid boredom. So we go for a break. During this break, we shall be acquainting you with activities happening around some of the campuses that are either our campus or collaborators' campuses. So enjoy the break. We'll get back to you immediately.
Excited to share some very important facts about our university, Benson Idahosa University. Divine mandates, and we are working very hard to become one of the best universities. Achieving this goal by establishing a very sound foundation, 4 pillars. of our students, development of our students, emotional intelligence, the world. Online development has become an important and a critical part of things as a university, of whom have developed alumni nostalgia to the university. This out, put out the best brains out there. Badly. We're going to give you a big handshake. University. What's on your children to us? We bring them back to you. It's a call or visit.
We change the rule of competition and open up a new future of knowledge. The R&BD leader of creative convergence, Kumoh National Institute of Technology. Change always starts with science and technology. The seed of tomorrow sprouts there. Of research and business. KIT leads the world with the local community. The key is practice and convergence. KIT has established an innovative convergence education system that values creativity, character, and experience, and has strengthened joint research with the Gumi Industrial Complex to foster future human resources that are competent in every area, from core technology development to commercialization. The power of convergence astonishes the world. That is the creative future that KIT dreams of. That is the KIT style. The KIT style is bringing new changes to every aspect of education, research, and industry academy cooperation. Key to these changes is a bold movement to a student-oriented school system. After enrollment, 3-on Convergence Education brings students creative ideas, human nature, and experiences by themselves. The HUMES program is designed to help students improve their academic abilities and humanity accomplishments. And the NBiz Startup track helps them improve abilities required for startups. With these programs, students can realize their infinite potential and grow up as interdisciplinary creative talents. Practical research that improves the life of humanity and creates new values. That is the specialty of KIT. From IT, machinery, energy and integrated materials, civil and environmental architecture, natural science, humanity and social science, and convergence. KIT is active in identifying future-oriented areas throughout industry to secure core technologies and foster professional human resources. They have a warm heart and creative problem-solving skills. They have the world as their stage, underpinned by their professional knowledge. They have all these qualities. That is why the world cherishes KIT's outstanding talents. KIT's educational infrastructures are solely focused on making students happier. KIT has established partnership with the world's prestigious universities and offers its students various global programs. In particular, it provides international students with all conveniences and amenities, which help them solely focus on their studies in KIT's world-class global campus. KIT offers its students the best opportunities to obtain field-oriented professional knowledge through its cutting-edge campus that enables multidisciplinary technical convergence and cooperation with the Gumi IT Park that is home to world-class companies such as Samsung and LG.
저는 금호공대에서 배운
역학적 사고와
창조적 과학 기술로
진리 창조 정직으로 물리적 사고를 통해 세계를 지키는
세계와 소통하는 로봇 산업의 주역이 되겠습니다.
기술 혁신을 이끄는 엔지니어가 되겠습니다.
글로벌한 공학부가 되겠습니다.
남을 배려하는 큰 나무가 되겠습니다.
금호,
금호공대에서 저희 미래가 보입니다.
금호공과대학교는 꿈과 희망이 있습니다. 융합형 창의인재를 양성하고 산학연구를 선도하여 세계 속에 자랑스러운 공과대학을 만들겠습니다.
The first and the only one. We know the precious value of these words. KIT's Step Forward is just about to start. In the new era, KIT makes a big step forward to foster creative talents and be the research-oriented R&BD university. Look for the future that KIT makes. The huge wave of changes.
Yeah, we thank everyone for being here. We want to save our time. On a lighter note, I I don't know, somebody is saying that the Metaverse can help in cooking and hosting of parties. Everything is possible in science. So for me, I don't I don't close my mind when it comes to science. Otherwise, if you have made up your mind on what you want to believe, there is no need carrying out research on it. That has been my philosophy in anything I do. If you have made up your mind on what to believe, then there's no need for research on that. So I want to go straight to my presentation. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again. My name is Dr. Cosmas Ifeanyi Nwakamma, and I'm giving the next presentation on global research trends on Metaverse. Today is the day 2 of this workshop, the first international workshop on Metaverse and Industry, taking place in Kumoh National Institute of Technology, Gumi in South Korea. I will take us through this journey, look at the motivation behind this work, general overview, the approach we adopted in selecting the research works that form the basis for the discussion. Then we look at some of the findings and discuss them together. Then we conclude. Right from yesterday, every one of us can agree with me from all the presentation we have so far, the Metaverse is indeed a trending topic with diverse and conflict definition, diverse and conflicting. In fact, a lot of matters are rising around Metaverse. The sources of virtual and extended reality has motivated the need to go a technology step ahead. You know, all this is why the AI speaker, Mr. Simeon, reminded us that virtually everything we want to do on Metaverse is not going to be possible without AI. And we also know that AI application to virtual reality and extended reality or mixed reality became one of the technology that actually led to the buzzword Metaverse. In fact, in the course of my presentation, you will be amazed that even in the research world, some persons just publish works around the buzzword, but if you look at the content of their write-ups, you cannot see Metaverse in it. So in this discussion, in my presentation, we are also going to look at the idea that a lot of investment are actually going on, especially by the big tech companies. And it is expected that by 2025, the facts will be mind-blowing. So if companies are going to invest heavily on Metaverse, if countries are going to invest on Metaverse, if universities are going to invest on Metaverse, if the whole world is going to carry out one or two things on Metaverse, it means there is need to look into what has been done so far or what is going on around the world so far in the world of research around Metaverse. So in my presentation, I'm going to articulate existing research and development works. I am going to use a barometric review approach to identify some of the thematic areas that are dominating the existing works in Metaverse. And then we are going to look at some of the open research issues and research directions. By the time we look at these open research issues, we will discover that actually most of the research issues are also already at the chat box. Most of the questions we see at the chat box are open research issues, research directions, things to take home with if you are indeed a researcher. If you have been with us since yesterday, and if you have been going through the chat box, looking at the questions people are asking, and seeing some of the careful ways I have been choosing, or we have been choosing our words in trying to reply, I summarize some of the issues at the chat box into this 14 points. Some persons want to know, is Metaverse a digital twin? Some want to know, is Metaverse virtual reality, mixed reality, extended reality? Some are trying to ask a question, can we fight insecurity with Metaverse? And some persons are concerned, if Metaverse is about avatar and me being in a third world, what happened to my privacy? What happened to intrusion? And yesterday, somebody said, I own a startup. I'm a private businessman. I'm not a lecturer. I'm not a researcher from any university. I'm just a businessman that came to this workshop. How can Metaverse help my business? Of course, we've also seen where some persons say that without network being addressed and infrastructures being provided by the government of their countries, metaverse cannot be a reality. It means there is going to be a need to investigate what happened to metaverse and regulation. What happened to metaverse and governance? What happened to metaverse and health and medical? In fact, somebody was very blunt yesterday. Somebody went straight to the point. The person asked, how is metaverse even important to this world? So that we don't waste our time investing time and effort on what does not benefit mankind. So the question is metaverse useful to mankind? If there are legal issues in real life, we know how to address them, right? We know how to channel, we know when somebody have infringed on your right, we know when to go to court and when not to. What happened to me? What happened to my avatar in the virtual world? Can my avatar take up a legal litigation? What use is metaverse to machining operation? Of what use is metaverse to construction industry? How can curriculum development affect metaverse, and how can metaverse affect curriculum development? For example, there's a research work that was published in Newcastle upon Tyne University just 2 months ago, where they tried to use metaverse and gaming technology to reshape the training of chemical engineers. And they carried out some experimentation with it, and the paper was published. The paper was titled, The Use of Gaming Technology for Chemical Engineering Education. You see? Metaverse and ethics, metaverse and real-time issues, metaverse and trust. This metaverse and technology adoption. We hear of technology acceptance model, we hear of UTAT 1, we have UTAT 2 models. These are all technology adoption models that are geared towards investigating the extent to which people are likely to be open to a new technology, how much more a disruptive technology like metaverse. What happened to metaverse or religion, for example? Will religion prevent certain persons from being open to metaverse? Or will metaverse also water down some people's religion? These are open issues. These are so many things that different researchers are trying to answer, are trying to know. So even after this slide, if you don't understand anything from what I've said, this slide summarizes everything that I'm going to say today. We've had it all. Metaverse have taken about 30 years to come by. But what is going to be new and what is new? That is what we are trying to ask ourselves. The timeline development of the concept of metaverse. Tracing from 1992, the snow crash, to 2022 that we are in today, what is going to be new? We've heard of the word Second Life. We've heard of the word virtual life. We've heard of the word virtual world. We've had Roblox. So many nomenclatures and ways and issues have come around this concept of metaverse. 30 years has come and gone. What is going to be the next thing in metaverse? Metaverse statistics and facts. Metaverse market size is already predicted to reach about $800 billion by 2024. JP Morgan, for example, predict that metaverse market size will be worth about $1 trillion. Goldman Sachs predict that metaverse size will be worth between 1 to 12 trillion, though they did not put any time frame. As of 2020, metaverse market was worth $46 billion. And a lab known as Meta Reality Lab segment has invested about $10 billion in the metaverse research. And this workshop was not going to be possible if there is no investment in metaverse research by our institutions here in South Korea. If South Korea is trying to play a leading role in the metaverse usage and technology. We will see that in the next slide. In order to select the articles that were considered for this presentation, we use the Prisma approach. There are various ways we pick our articles, but we try to use the Prisma approach and then a key part of our exclusion criteria is that we did not consider conference papers. We restricted ourselves to journal articles, and at the end of the use of the various key search Metaverse being a prominent key search term, we got about 246 journal articles. And using the exclusion criteria like some of them have metaverse in their title, but the content of the paper, there's no metaverse. Some of them have metaverse as a keyword in their papers, but the paper actually is not about metaverse. Some of them, because of the algorithm or because of the algorithm of the website where the papers are hosted, the papers are likely to appear if metaverse is searched. So at the end of the day, the full studies that were included for this research were 96, while 150 were excluded for various reasons. Of the articles that were downloaded before screening, we had from Web of Science 170 articles, but we excluded 141, and they used only 29 articles. In MDPI, we saw 21 articles, excluded 5 and used 16. In IEEE, as of 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, because every Metaverse papers are coming out every day. So the caveat here is that whatever statistics I'm showing you is already 2 weeks old. So in IEEE, we have 77 articles. If you use the keyword, if you go to IEEE Explore and type Metaverse, you are going to see 77 articles. Out of 77 articles, we excluded 63, and we only considered 14 qualified to be papers on Metaverse. On Springer, 73 articles, 40 excluded, and 33 were used. On Taylor and Francis, 5 articles, 1 excluded, and 4 was used. This made up the 96 articles that were used for this work. Now, the 96 articles that were taken, we decided to use Investopedia. In Investopedia, we look at the top economies of the world. So the countries that make up the top economies of the world were used to further carry out another search. So for example, if we have Germany, we say Metaverse and Germany we search, Metaverse and Korea we search. So at the end of the search, we have what you can see. And from this pie chart, you can see that researchers on Metaverse whose affiliation are South Korea are in the larger number. This is very, very understandable, going by the huge investment the South Korean government has put into the Metaverse research. And many institutions and research organizations in Korea are trying to play a key role in Metaverse research. What we found out? Applicable areas of Metaverse, for example, from the research papers, majority of the papers talks about how Metaverse is used for remote education. The next people on the line are Metaverse and manufacturing. Then we have Metaverse for exhibition and museum, Metaverse for medical, Metaverse for transportation, and Metaverse for e-commerce. These are the dominating thematic areas from the published work in existence. Also, some concerns when we look at the concerns raised by papers. Religion, about 8 articles raise the issue of religion. 15 articles talk about management, economics, startups, investment in Metaverse, and the rest of them. Blockchain, game and gaming technology, security and privacy issues. Some authors try to differentiate, some authors try to use the immersive technology. Rather than bother themselves about virtual reality or mixed reality, just use a combined word, since we are now on the verge of moving to the next technology. A lot of papers either lump AI, while some persons try to make an effort to separate speech recognition, language processing, image recognition as a research thematic area as far as Metaverse is concerned. In fact, in our lab also, we have a paper on language translation module for Metaverse, which is currently under review. We also identified top 5 universities that are also working hard on Metaverse research. In China, we have the Gandong University of Technology. In Singapore, in South Korea, we have the KAIST, and as a leading university in Metaverse. We have University College of London and the Simbashi University in Turkey. I will leave this case study because virtually all the speakers before me, in one way or the other, the speaker that talk about manufacturing already talk about NVIDIA Omniverse. My professor already talk about Creativia platform, and KAIST Metaverse Factory for the Future is just the same, is similar to the Metaverse on manufacturing. I will drop these links on the chat box. So what are we trying to say? The workshop, this workshop has, the workshop is aimed at raising research questions, raising research interests, rather than providing a holistic answer to all questions, because you cannot provide answers to all questions for a emerging technology. So if there is anything we are going to take home from all the research we have done, one thing that is common to all the 96 papers that we are taking in the course of this survey is that Metaverse is a journey. And if it is a journey, we are calling on every researcher, every research institution to join in the research, to join in the journey, so that at the end of the day, it shall be a technology that will worth the effort and the boost and the hype around it. In summary, the prominent challenges that were raised or concerns, just like you can see from also the questions people have raised. People have raised the issue of ethics, the issue of psychology, the issue of privacy, and the rest of them. There can be no complete answer to all this. Rather, these issues are meant to trigger further research by everybody. And it simply means that every one of us that attend this workshop, there is something we can do as far as research on Metaverse is concerned. There is no field of study that cannot embark on research with respect to Metaverse. So we look forward to more collaborators. We look forward to receiving your mails on what you are going to be doing on Metaverse after this workshop. Thank you very much. So we go for interlude so that we can respond to questions. Okay, Professor, somebody is saying I should be specific on how Metaverse is applicable to medicine. I think from that question, it means that maybe my presentation was not properly done or you didn't get to the point. The point we are making is that we say that Metaverse is a disruptive technology. And if it's a disruptive technology, it means all disruptive technology affects every endeavor. For example, when internet came on board, is there any field of study that internet did not affect? The answer is no. Therefore, if Metaverse is going to be a disruptive technology, every profession have to be at an alert. So rather than ask if Metaverse is applicable to medicine, I think the proper thing to do is let us go and find out how Metaverse will be applicable to medicine. That is the point we are trying to make here. We are not trying, even when we talk about ethics, religion, culture, we cannot explain to you. It is you that will go and do your research and find out to make a contribution to the world of research on Metaverse. That's the point we are trying to make here. We didn't say that we have answers to all questions. We say that based on research works, these are issues or areas that researchers who want to play a role in metaverse research should begin to think of the aspect of research they can pick up to be part of it. That's the point we are trying to make. So, Mr. Gabriel, but is the interlude going for him to be shared? Is it me or the one that will do the interlude?
To share some very important facts about our university, Benson Idahosa University. We exist by divine mandate, and we are working very hard to become one of the best universities in Africa. And we go about achieving this goal by establishing a very sound foundation made up of 4 pillars. The pillar of academic development of our students, spiritual development of our students, entrepreneurial development of our students, as well as the leadership development of our students. Sound program. Real world. Online development has become an important thing as a university, of whom have developed alumni nostalgia back to the university. Chancellor of this university brings out there badly. Give you a big handshake. University. Words on your children to us. We bring them back to you. It's a call or visit our website. University.
To address the issue of metaverse and security, I have the pleasure to invite Gabriel to talk about security in focus with respect to metaverse.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cosmos. Good evening and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gabriel Amaizu. Like those of us here yesterday, a research assistant at ICT Convergence Research Center. Okay. So today, we shall be looking at, just give me a minute. Today, we shall be looking at security in metaverse. It's titled Security in Metaverse, a closer look. So we'll be taking a closer look on security in metaverse. So the slide is divided into, we'll have a brief introduction, general overview, then we'll go straight to security and conclusion. But for the sake of time, we shall be skipping so many of these parts, we'll just go straight to, because some of this has already been presented to us. So as you all know, metaverse of recently is gaining popularity, but at the same time, like some persons in the comment section have pointed out, there is still insufficient research on the security implications of metaverse. Someone can say the ethical implications, or like someone said just now, asked just now on the group, the religious implications of metaverse. So like I said, we'll be skipping so many of these, and we'll just go straight to security in Metaverse. Now, there are 4 basic points that I would like to bring out here. There are 4 basic aspects of security I would like to bring out here. But before we talk about it, I would like to say that we all know Metaverse is something that at some point will come to full realization. But as of now, it's not yet fully realized. Like we won't say we've achieved the Metaverse 100%. So most of these things are not yet known to us. You know, when there's a new technology, then people start saying this, the security implications, or how they can exploit it, or how they can pass some loopholes and things like that. So this is just like we're trying to put it out there. What security implications will this have? It's not really compulsory that most of these things will be there in the Metaverse, but we perceive that they are going to be there. Why do we say so? Because we know what makes up Metaverse, like we've been talking all along. The massive technologies, VR, AR, MR, and digital twin. So we know the limitations of these technologies. We know their security, the security factors affecting them. So from there, we can draw a general conclusion that if this is affecting these technologies, then of course, Metaverse will, to some extent, inherit some of these security flaws. And also, there is still the added possibility of the Metaverse bringing up new security concerns that we've not seen before, because Metaverse is a technology, or it's a technology that we are yet to see the full exploitation of it. So we can also see security issues that we've not experienced before, while it will still inherit security issues from the previous technologies. So we'll be looking at 4 main things today: identity management, DDoS attacks, device vulnerability, and data exploitation. Now let's start with identity management. So identity management is just, it's a simple authorization and authentication. You know, we heard about AI. AI has become so powerful. AI has become so powerful that it is very difficult to tell the difference between a bot online and a real human and a real user. So earlier on during the development of internet, it was actually when things like Facebook and Twitter started newly. It was really easy for you to tell that this account is a bot and this account is a human. Like by bot, I mean bot, and this account is operated by a human. But now AI has made it very, 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 very hard to tell that difference. Now we have deep fakes that you find it very difficult to tell this is not the video of this exact person. This video was edited or something. So it is difficult to authorize and authenticate people in the current web that we have. Like if you following the internet, you know that we are in Web 2.0 and Metaverse is taking us to Web 3.0. So even as at Web 2.0, we are having the issue of identity management. We are finding it difficult to be able to authorize people or to authenticate people. And now AI, Metaverse, adding that together, then you begin to see that we'll have more of these imposters online on our social spaces. And why Metaverse why it's going to be a bigger problem in Metaverse is because with Metaverse you are sharing you are sharing a virtual online space with people. Some of us who have been privileged to use something like the VR glasses or the AR glasses. I played a boxing game in a VR glass and I couldn't last 30 seconds. I put on the glasses and there's this avatar in front of me and it looked so real, you know. So it's like you see it like it's not like the web, whereby it's not like Web 2.0, whereby someone can be online and clicking the keyboard. You're seeing it kind of physically, I would say. So identity management is going to be a problem. The device vulnerability, like we've been hearing, you know, the Metaverse is going to be like, Metaverse wants to bridge the physical limitation, bringing physical and virtual together. how is that going to be how is that going to happen? Like we said yesterday, so many sensors, wearable sensors and the rest are going to be put in the physical world so that they transmit data to the digital world, making it go seamless. So these wearable devices, these wearable sensors are prone to attack. They are prone to, of course, they are connected over the internet, like we're talking about the 5G and the 6G. So for Metaverse to actually be truly secured, we have to look at how these connections are being made, and also try to limit the security implication. Like also try to. We should also so sorry for the break in transmission. So device vulnerability, we're passing data from these devices to the metaverse over the internet. So when someone hacks that device, it becomes it becomes a problem. Then DDoS attack. Of course, we know what DDoS attack is. DDoS, distributed denial of service. This is when a server is being flooded with so many traffic that it cannot, so many fraudulent traffic that it cannot respond to legitimate traffic. So now we're talking about the medical. I'll bring it back to the medical world now. So for the people asking about medical, so let's look at some instances. You see, nowadays the medical field has gone very ahead in using AR and VR glasses, and of course, trying to do something with the metaverse. So surgeries now are performed using AR glasses. You see, most advanced surgeries now are done with the help of robotics and AR or MR glasses. These glasses does a lot of things for the doctors. For example, for some complicated operations, like I was seeing, I was actually checking out this report a couple of weeks back. The doctors were actually watching a live video or a live tutorial on how to carry out that particular operation. So the video was projected as a virtual object, and they could be seeing the video while doing what they are doing. So when there's a DDoS attack in such situation, like when someone attacks that network, and for example, it's like in the case of the video I was watching, it was a complicated surgery, and the doctors could not carry out that surgery without watching that video in real time. So when there's this disruption or when there's this attack on the infrastructure, then of course it's going to affect the metaverse at large. Then we have the data exploitation. Like you all know, there are some games these days or some applications these days using the AR or VR headset. You can do what we call eye tracking or finger tracking. Like you can put your digital password by just swiping your hands in the air. So those things are like, when you do that, the application collects that data and sends it somewhere. And most times these applications, they make use of third-party libraries. They make use of third-party libraries, they outsource it and things like that. And of course, the eye tracking issue too. Whatever you see, it's been recorded. So we are now looking at how these data can easily be exploited by either the third-party company or library that is that the project was outsourced to, or by just some malicious users who happen to come across it. So when you use such applications, and people who you don't want can see what exactly you're saying, or they can track your finger movement and get your password, they can do some other sort of damages to either your bank account or whatever it may be that they have access to. So far, like we said, there's still no defined effects, like security effects that the metaverse poses now that we know of, but we are estimating that these are some of the issues that we'll have. Then there's still the societal issue, the abuse on metaverse, the physical abuse on metaverse, and things like that. Like I said, it's a virtual space you share with someone, and it looks very real, and it's just like the person is in front of you. And so there will be some reports from 2020 where there's things like groping online, verbal assaults online, and things like that, which is different from when someone, like I said, is typing on their keyboard. But these things won't really affect most industries, like manufacturing industries we talked about yesterday. It might not affect it that much, but for the medical field, of course, then the gaming field, there's a big implication. And But thing is, as time goes on, as the metaverse keeps developing, we keep saying all these things, and then government institutions or the parliaments and houses of assemblies start coming out with rules on how to regulate the use of this data. Then tech companies start coming out on adequate ways of identifying people online, you know, removing things like fake identities and deep fakes and bots and things like that. So as time goes on, we believe that these things will be coming up when the metaverse keeps expanding. So that's basically all for this presentation, and I hope that as time goes on, we can begin talking about these things and looking at ways of improving it and things we can actually do in the virtual space and be the front runners for this technology. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. Actually, from all we are trying to do and all we have done throughout the course of this workshop is to all we have tried to do in this workshop is to draw attention to metaverse. And also, like, if you were here at the beginning yesterday, when I was explaining the goal or the purpose of this workshop, I said the workshop is geared towards showcasing our laboratory, explaining about our little efforts on metaverse, and drawing the attention of researchers, mainly in the Nigerian environment, about the existence or the commencement of a journey together. The Kumoh National Institute of Technology is officially commencing a journey together, a journey with 3 universities in Nigeria. In case we seem to be too far from you, these universities are in your country, they are closer to you. So what are we trying to achieve? What we are trying to achieve is, we are not trying to achieve an answer to all questions on metaverse. I keep on re-emphasizing this. Why am I saying this? You cannot answer all questions on a research that is ongoing. It means the research is going to be biased, because a researcher must have an open mind to all possible results. The results could be positive, negative. It could even lead to the closure of metaverse if the result is sincere. It could also lead to the end of metaverse. It could also lead to the growth of metaverse. So somebody is asking, how is metaverse related to accounting? It is the same answer we are going to give to you. We are open to research with you on that. That is the answer. Because we cannot say this is the answer. Otherwise, we're no longer researchers. So what we are trying to say is, if you have an interest in any aspect of metaverse research, any thematic area of research, begin to think out of the box and begin to play a role. In fact, in the course of my research, I was so happy to see even some, what you may call convents, or call it convents, writing about the futuristic impact of metaverse on religion and the rest of them. So there's no research area. There's nothing you cannot do on research. Please, for the purpose of documentation and possible sending of document to show your evidence of participation, we have dropped a Google form, a survey form for you to fill. We know that about 485 persons register for this event, but it is not possible and it is impossible to give the 485 persons certificate of participation. We can only give certificate of participation for those that participated and not for those that registered. Therefore, it is important you fill the form, the survey form, or the chat box if you desire to be acknowledged for being part of this event. Now, I want to invite Professor Labode, if he's available. Professor Labode is a professor in Federal University of Technology, Akure. Professor Labode, if you're available, please, I want to unmute you now. I want to unmute you so that you can talk. Professor Labode, are you there? We are going to listen to Professor.
Yes.
Yeah, Professor Labode, please, you have 2 minutes to go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm here. Such an interesting workshop is actually an eye-opener. I must confess, we have really benefited a lot. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, yes, we have really benefited a lot in this workshop. It's an eye-opener. These are things I don't even know ever existed. It's a very, very laudable project you are doing. We really thank God for it. Though in my university, we have a new vice chancellor who just resumed 2 days ago, and I don't think he's fully on ground to address some of these issues. Okay. However, on behalf of the university, the vice chancellor, I want to really appreciate all the participants, people who have created times to attend the workshop. I particularly want to appreciate members of my university community who has one way or the other participated in this workshop. They have really gained a lot, and I'm very sure that this will not be the end. We'll continue to liaise with you, speak with you for possible collaboration. Presently, some of us have proposals submitted for consideration, and some of them we may possibly need this metaverse to solve some of the problems. Particularly, the one I submitted has to do with ecotourism. We're trying to see how we can create a virtual reality for one of the tourist centers in Nigeria. The other one, we try to see how we can use virtual reality to solve the autism patients problem. So we have lots of these problems, and we shall be needing this metaverse to solve some of the problems. We are really very grateful for this workshop. Thank you very much. And we hope that when we contact you for partnership or collaboration, you avail us the opportunity. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Professor Olabode. I want to invite Dr. Alphonsus Eze. Dr. Alphonsus Eze is of the Scotiabank in Canada. Can we also have 1 or 2 comments from you, Dr. Alphonsus Eze?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I bring you greetings from Toronto, GTA. So sorry, I have a baby behind me. My wife went to drop out my daughter at the bus stop. So just bear with me for the noise.
Okay. Okay, while we wait for Dr. Alphonsus Eze, we want to have a Dr. Chikere Ifeanyi Ebirim of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Nigeria. Dr. Chikere Ebirim Ifeanyi, Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Nigeria.
Yeah, I want to greet everybody who is present at this Metaverse and the Industry conference or workshop. It's an eye-opener. A lot of people don't believe that these things are happening, and I want to let them know that that they are not aware does not mean that it's not existent. The Metaverse has come to stay, just like the blockchain. And like you rightly pointed out, it is a disruptive technology that has come to take over. And just like the internet. And, you know, sometime, about a month ago, some of my colleagues attended a wedding on the Metaverse. There was a legal wedding on the Metaverse. In fact, somebody registered his legal company and the metaverse and the blockchain, and had his first wedding, the first wedding that existed on the metaverse. And the people were wondering whether this is real, you know, and it's actually real, and these things are happening. This is where the world is moving to. This is the future. And for you to have come up with this idea to enlighten Nigerians and especially the universities that you're collaborating with, I want to appreciate you for that. I know that the big companies, like you said, are coming into the metaverse, like the JP Morgan is instituting a bank in the metaverse. I'm also aware that some football clubs like Man City is collaborating with Sony to have the first metaverse stadium. And these things are there, and I appreciate you for enlightening us. And I want to also believe that we can still go on to partner and you know, break more grounds in this area that is the future. So I want to thank you for organizing this webinar, and pray that it will be sustained, and it will yield its fruitfulness. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chikere Ifeanyi. We appreciate. Professor Alexandra Isimaje, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you so very much. I'd like to start on a funny note, how we can apply Metaverse to the home. If we have the application to the home, perhaps our colleague in Toronto will not be worried about the baby. So you create an avatar of him, and one part of him will be attending to the baby, and then the other part of him will be attending to this workshop. So that would be a wonderful, wonderful scenario and opportunity to have. And that's one of the interesting areas to me in this research, how we can multitask and be able to communicate and be in meetings at different places. Now, coming back to this, I want to say that this is such a huge, huge opportunity. I'm excited that my university, Benson Idahosa University, is one of the 3 universities selected to partner with you on this project. And I can already see how this cooperation can be profitable, not just to the 3 universities, but to all the universities in this country. So I want to thank you for that. I also want to commend the organizers for this wonderful workshop that you have put together. And we hope that we'll have such workshops on a more regular basis, so we can share the ideas, the outcomes of the research that will take place in these various universities and at the various centers. I'm particularly grateful to members of my university, 86 of them who registered for this workshop. That demonstrates their commitment and huge interest in this project. I want to thank you once again. The world is small now because of technology. And that is why the classrooms have no walls anymore. And we don't even have borders anymore. So it's not even possible to begin to imagine what we can achieve with this level of technology, which the metaverse is even bringing to us. So once again, I thank everyone for being here. And I pray that this project will be highly, highly successful and productive. On behalf of my Vice Chancellor, I give you greetings. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Professor Ogbonna.
Thank you, Dr. Cosmos.
Please, the representative of University of Ilorin for today, please, can you chat me so that I know the person to call? Just give me a chat. Professor Bona, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Cosmos. And I want to again appreciate your institution, and particularly the initiative to remember Africa and Nigeria, especially as you sojourn outside our shores in this very important area that can transform what we do here. I also want to appreciate the Babcock University team in its entirety and thank the administration that has facilitated putting together this team, and the process is ongoing in this collaboration. Of course, the other institutions, Lorry and Idahosa, they are appreciated. And I think beyond here, even those of us in Nigeria should be able to begin to do a subunit collaboration so we can facilitate each other and advance our society and the world. Once again, it's been a good experience. For me, we've just started a new journey to help humanity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Bona. May we have Dr. Oluwafemi Adeleke. Dr. Oluwafemi Adeleke.
Hello.
We can hear you. Dr. Oluwafemi, we are asking you to unmute, but you seem not to be responding to us. Dr. Oluwafemi Adeleke.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. So we want to thank the organizers of this program for a program well structured, and also want to thank the participants for making it a quite educating program. The Vice Chancellor of our University of Ilorin, Professor Age Abdul Karim, appreciates the Kumoh Institute for extending the invitation to us. And from what we have seen, by the time we started this workshop, we are really focusing on two faculties in the university, engineering and technology, and then the faculty of information, communication, and information sciences. However, from all that has transpired during this workshop, we've seen that the metaverse is applicable in all fields. And by this, we are going to bring in management sciences and every other units within the university. Once again, we are very grateful for these heartwarming sessions that we've had. And we pray that even as it has been the intention of Kumoh to make sure that African is developed and our socio-economic level is also boosted, that we researchers in this continent will really work towards giving the other world a good run, even using this metaverse as a tool. Once again, thank you very much for the workshop.
Hello. Okay. Thank you, Professor Dr. Oluwafemi Adeleke. Thank you everyone for being part of this event. And just like we have said, we have a form. We have a form that you have to fill if you want to be acknowledged for being in this event. It's very important. It's very important that you fill the form. We shouldn't rely on registration. Registration does not confer you the certificate. What will confer you certificate is that you fill the form of being part of this event right now. So fill that form before we end the session. So I'm intentionally wasting time to be sure that we've all filled that form. Let's try and fill that form. Once again, we want to thank all the universities and all the organizations that came to this event. We have dropped email addresses. You can see some of the email addresses we have dropped there. There is Creativia email address. There is Judith's email address. Gabriel's email address is here. Very soon I will drop mine as we are talking. I will drop my email address as well for any form of information. But like I said, the universities collaborating with us, you also know them. We don't keep, there's no secret in research, it's open. So either you reach to us or you reach to them. I am also, apart from being in Korea, I am also a lecturer with the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. So, and I know that, I know the terrain. We all know the issue of concept note, TED fund, and the rest of them. So there are various ways we can access funding beyond just the collaboration with Korea. We are trying to trigger researchable areas. Some of us have master's students, PhD students who are running up and down looking for what should be their thesis topics. These are thesis topics looking at us in the face. So we can pick them up. The PhD students have something to do right now. They can no longer say they don't have something to research upon. The PhD student, the MSc student, the people in the legal department, law faculty, what about writing thesis on the legal implication of metaverse? We all know what happened to Twitter and how different countries of the world were trying to run around the problems surrounding Twitter. Twitter was being seen as a borderless app. So if in Nigeria we feel that a tweet is against our law, how do you punish Twitter if a tweet is against your law in Nigeria and that tweet is not against the law in the US? These are legal issues. These are jurisprudence issues. So there's nothing that come up today that a researcher does not have something to say. That's the point I'm trying to make. So let us trigger research interest and let us be open-minded to research. If your mind is made up on the results, you are not a good researcher. That's the point. If your mind is made up, if you have said 1 + 1 is 2, you are simply saying, please, mathematicians, do not do anything again because my 1 + 1 is 2. And once you have put a ceiling on that belief, then there's nothing to research upon again. Let's have a group picture. Please, can we open our videos so that we can have a group picture before we go? We promise not to take beyond the time that is supposed to be. Let's take a group picture. I have dropped my email address as well. Oh, Dr. Alphonsus, you are back. Thank you. Thank you. We take it on your behalf that your baby have spoken to us. Okay, so page 1. Take a picture. A lot of persons don't want their faces appearing. Anyway, it's optional. We cannot infringe on anybody's right. If you are comfortable with your pictures appearing, please open your picture. But if you are not comfortable, it's okay. There's nothing wrong about it. Okay. Thank you very much. Our email addresses, please, you can copy our email addresses. They are available. Our email addresses are available for your inquiries, collaborations. We cannot address the issue around metaverse in 2 hours. But what we have done today is to arouse research discourse. We have tabled the matter before us, and I am very sure we have a lot of work to do going out of this workshop. And I know our hands are going to be full. Thank you for your active participation. We appreciate you. We are so grateful for your time and effort, and we look forward to the second international workshop on Metaverse coming soon by the grace of God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
We change the rule of competition and open up a new future of knowledge. The R&BD leader of creative convergence, Kumoh National Institute of Technology. Change always starts with science and technology. The seed of tomorrow sprouts there. KIT is Korea's only national college specialized in science and technology. We have demonstrated our unrivaled competitiveness as the first mover in education and industry academy cooperative research. Now as a specialist of R&BD that is the combination of research and business, KIT leads the world with the local community. The key is practice and convergence. KIT has established an innovative convergence education system that values creativity, character, and experience, and has strengthened joint research with the Gumi Industrial Complex to foster future human resources that are competent in every area, from core technology development to commercialization. The power of convergence astonishes the world. That is the creative future that KIT dreams of. That is the KIT style. The KIT style is bringing new changes to every aspect of education, research, and industry academy cooperation. Key to these changes is a bold movement to a student-oriented school system. After enrollment, 3 on Convergence Education brings students creative ideas, human nature, and experiences by themselves. The HUMES program is designed to help students improve their academic abilities and humanity accomplishments. And the NBIZ Startup Track helps them improve abilities required for startups. With these programs, students can realize their infinite potential and grow up as interdisciplinary creative talents. Practical research that improves the life of humanity and creates new values. That is the specialty of KIT. From IT, machinery, energy and integrated materials, civil and environmental architecture, natural science, humanity and social science, and convergence. KIT is active in identifying future-oriented areas throughout industry to secure core technologies and foster professional human resources. They have a warm heart and creative problem-solving skills. They have the world as their stage, underpinned by their professional knowledge. They have all these qualities. That is why the world cherishes KIT's outstanding talents. KIT's educational infrastructures are solely focused on making students happier. KIT has established partnership with the world's prestigious universities and offers its students various global programs. In particular, it provides international students with all conveniences and amenities, which help them solely focus on their studies in KIT's world-class global campus. KIT offers its students the best opportunities to obtain field-oriented professional knowledge through its cutting-edge campus that enables multidisciplinary technical convergence and cooperation with the Gumi IT Park that is home to world-class companies such as Samsung and LG.
저는 금호공대에서 배운
금호공대에서 배운
역학적 사고와
창조적 과학 기술로
진리 창조 정직으로 물리적 사고를 통해 세계를 지키는
세계와 소통하는 로봇 산업의 주역이 되겠습니다.
기술 혁신을 이끄는 엔지니어가 되겠습니다.
글로벌한 공학도가 되겠습니다.
남을 배려하는 큰 나무가 되겠습니다.
금호,
금호
금호, 금호, 금호.
금호공대에서 저희 미래가 보입니다.
금호공과대학교는 꿈과 희망이 있습니다. 융합형 창의인재를 양성하고 산학연구를 선도하여 세계 속에 자랑스러운 공과대학을 만들겠습니다.
The first and the only one. We know the precious value of these words. KIT's Step Forward is just about to start. In the new era, KIT makes a big step forward to foster creative talents and be the research-oriented R&BD university. Look for the future that KIT makes. The huge wave of changes.